welcome back to my channel. So I have decided that I'm going to start covering Sister Wives because this season looks like it's going to be a good one, and just so I can kind of branch out and try to cover other shows besides Love After Lockup and 90 Day Fiancé. I'm still going to cover those shows mainly, but you know, I just want to be able to have other shows I can cover too. So in this video, I'm going to do a recap of the season 16 premiere of Sister Wives that came on yesterday. So this season picked up where things left off last season with Christine and Kody in a rocky spot of their relationship. And this premiere is happening 3 weeks after Kody and Christine announced that they're separating in real time after being together for 25 years. So the biggest issue, as we saw in the season premiere, is Christine wants to move back to Utah, while Kody and his 3 other wives, Janelle, Mary, and Robin, they all want to stay in Arizona. So this conflict brought Christine to tears, leading Mary to help console her. And Mary was telling Christine, look, you didn't put all this time into your marriage, 25, 28, 30 years, however long you guys been married, to just walk away. I put in 30 years and I haven't walked away yet because I refuse to give up. So the episode then shifted gears to focus on the Browns family Coyote Pass property. And they're trying to figure out how to reconfigure the space so they can all build homes beside each other. And Kody says he's had a couple of ideas, but what works right now and what works in the future, he hasn't really discussed with his wife so far. But Kody just came up with this grand plan of the layout of all the houses all by himself. So Kody sectioned off 5 areas on the property's blueprint. He then told his wives for the first time, the lot that would have the pond will most likely be my lot for full access for the family. So the wives didn't know that Kody was also wanting a home of his own, and Christine wasn't so happy about that. And none of the other wives were too happy about it either, because they had no idea that Kody wanted a house of his own, and Christine thought it was a waste of money, and she said, I guess Kody wants his own house. And now that Christine's out of the picture, I'm curious if Cody's going to use that house to find a replacement for another sister wife. But he says he wants that house so he can have a pond, so he can have a place for social gatherings for the whole family. And all the wives were arguing back and forth over the placement of the pond. Kody reassured them it'd be accessible for everyone, but Mary argued that the pond would affect the placement of certain houses on the property, mainly Christine. So Kody said, it's the only configuration I can manage to go, this works and this makes sense. And Christine said she didn't want to commit to anything until she had walked around the property, and to the camera she admitted, I'm just over this conversation. I'm having a hard time holding it all in anyways, and we need to start walking or I'm going to start crying. That's what's going to happen here. If I express myself, I'm just going to cry. It's either we walk the property or I'm just going to walk away from the conversation entirely, because this is very frustrating. So with that, Kody and the wives took a tour of the property with the contractor, and when the woman fell behind, Kody whistled at them to get back on track, and that did not sit well with Christine. Christine was like, you do not whistle at me, what the hell? And you can tell that they are not on good terms right now. So the group eventually made its way to Christine's lot on the property, which she seemed satisfied with it, but she expressed her true feelings on the matter in a confessional, and she said, honestly, I'm not excited to move on to the property, but we're going to do it, so I'd like to be excited about this property. I just have to talk myself into staying constantly now instead of just walking away. So it seems like Christine has 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out. And Christine revealed that her 6 children with Kody felt the same way about remaining in Arizona. Christine told producers, none of my kids are going to stay in Flagstaff. They've all expressed no desire to live here whatsoever. They're all going to settle in Utah, ironically enough. And Christine said she was trying her best not to be emotional about the housing issue. I'm just trying to let go of having my house be where I wanted it, she said. I thought we're going to try and build the cul-de-sac like we had in Vegas, and that whole cul-de-sac setup would have been an ideal setup, and I feel like that would have made everybody happy. And she said, I have the 4 houses right here kind of close to each other, and it just sounds really separate, and I think it's kind of sad that we all live in our own separate house, to be honest, and I'm just not interested in this anymore. I think Christine came in the family thinking they're going to live in one big house together, be one big happy poly family, and that's just not what happened. They're all living their separate lives together, fighting over time with Kody, and since the pandemic happened, it's really put a strain on the relationship, and they all got together and were asking about, like, what are we going to do for the holidays, and Cody's like, well, I don't think we should do Christmas. I think everybody should just do what they want to do, which is kind of messed up because you're kind of the glue of the family and you should be the one trying to bring everybody together. And even the wives express their frustration about that. But that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on the season premiere of Sister Wives in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.